So, elevator gate. Normally I would resist becoming a part of this discussion, though, but it reminds me of being in an elevator and talking to women. The thing is, I think that when she says men don't do that, she doesn't mean men don't invite women in elevators out for coffee. I think she meant when you're around somebody that has already expressed a kind of I don't know, like anger or that there is a war on, and she's a part of it, and part of what she's fighting is women being turned into sex objects or being sexualized. Someone once told me, you see what you look for. So be careful what you look for. I had a friend that cleaned up toxic waste for a living, and everywhere she went, she saw examples of corporations, factories not doing the right thing. Like just driving down the road, she'd notice, problems. I think what this guy did wrong was not say, "Hey, would you like to come back to my room for coffee?" He actually, I liked the way he asked. That was very good, I thought. But it was who you asked. I mean, were you not listening to her when she was talking about men being this, or men doing this to me, or men making me feel this way? It reminds me, I used to work with a woman that she came in and she saw me reading a comic book. I was reading The Amazing X-Men. And she's like, "Oh yeah, nice softcore porn." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "I know why you men read those comic books. It's the women with breasts 4 times the size of their heads." And I'm like, "Would you like to show me anywhere in this comic where that takes place?" And then she went through my entire comic book, treated it pretty roughly as well, which I thought was an extra insult. And then handed it back to me. Actually, she slapped it down on my table, and then started eating her lunch. She didn't even want to continue talking, because her whole premise of what I was doing was incorrect. And when I asked her to provide proof, she couldn't do it. Now, see, I would know not to ask her out for coffee. So I think that's where that guy went wrong. I will tell you, once when I did ask a woman a question in an elevator. We were both at the same wedding party, and we both left the party, and it was in a hotel. We both left the room at the same time. We got in an elevator. She got off on a floor, and I said, "Would you like me to walk you to your room?" And she kind of thought about it for a moment, and then she said, "Sure." I mean, that's the thing about being in a hotel. Like, you're in this weird temporary city, and you don't know, people are just coming and going all the time. Like, it feels like you're amongst a lot of people, and that maybe there's a sense of safety in that, but to me it feels like we're in a giant hive of strangers. And so I walked her to her room, and as she opened the door, she turned back to me and kind of smiled, and I said, "Is everything okay? All right, have a good night." And I started walking back to the elevator, and she says, "Hey, I stole a bottle of champagne from the wedding party. Do you want to come in for a glass?" And I was like, "Oh, heck yeah, I do." And I went back and had a glass of champagne, or two. But I mean, that was the thing. It's like I didn't see anything wrong with asking, and the lady didn't see anything wrong with asking me to come in and have a glass of champagne with her. So all these things are okay. I think the only thing I could find wrong with that whole situation is the guy didn't seem to know who he was talking to. Somebody that would be watching him and listening to him, looking for something certain. They're gonna see what they're looking for. And he said, "Would you like to go out for? Would you like to come to my room for some coffee?" And she saw that as being sexualized. So that's the mistake. you're talking to somebody that is going to continue to see what they're looking for, and they feel they're doing the right thing, and it's not what they're looking for doesn't exist, but just like my friend driving around seeing factories dumping toxic waste into rivers, you see what you're looking for. It's not that it's not there, but if you want to avoid awkward situations, it helps to know who you're talking to. And so I'm going to put up a couple videos about flirting and some excellent flirts I've dealt with in the past, and as just kind of like, you know, the thing is, like, somebody says, like, men, don't do this. But I think there'd be just as many women and men saying, no, please continue flirting. Flirting adds so much to life, and there's so many unpleasant, awkward situations we have to deal with. When you walk by somebody, Akila and I walked by a young lady, and she said, nice looking dog. And you know what they say about dogs looking like their owners. I thought that was a lovely flirt. And, you know, you just blush and smile and say thank you, and I kept walking. Like, it doesn't mean anything other than it was kind of a lovely interaction. So I took it as such, and I think that's how she meant it. All right, everybody. I'll leave you some flirting, and I'll see you in the tubes. Oh, and maybe we should go get some coffee later.